What's up, guys? Mike Olson here, as always, with my partner Justin Moody, and today we are bringing you another video featuring some of the best things here in Las Vegas. Today we're going to talk about some dive bars.
Your favorite?
It is my favorite. I am a big dive bar lover, and so I'm actually pretty excited about this list. I really enjoyed putting it together. Full disclosure, I have been to most of these, but I haven't been to all of them. Some of these places we're putting on the list purely based on reputation. So I've
only been to 2.
You've only been to 2. So fair enough. But I tell you what, I did find some places on here that are going to be on my to-do list now. So I'm looking forward to checking out the ones I haven't been to. However, every bar on this list does come with a fantastic reputation of being a great dive bar. Most of them have been ranked on various lists of best dive bars in Vegas. And I did look at some of these lists, and you know, some of the spots that they had I didn't agree with, so I took them off.
Well, again, when we do these, it's more of our opinion.
It is, yeah.
Places that you or I like to go. So obviously, everybody's opinions vary and tastes vary. So these are just, what we chose.
Right. So, some of the reasons that I took bars off the list, or that I chose not to include bars, even ones that I may have been to that could be considered a dive bar, but I didn't put it on the list. For one thing, I was trying to stay away from anything that was excessively touristy.
Gotcha.
Trying to stick to the stuff that is locals focused, trying to stick to the stuff that's off strip, that's away from, say, the Fremont Street experience. Places that are, real bars that real people go to, not places that the tourists go to get drunk and act the fool.
Gotcha.
Just the locals get drunk and act the fool.
Yeah.
As it's meant to be.
When locals get drunk and act the fool, they take an Uber home. When tourists get drunk and act the fool, they get married.
Or go to jail.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so without further ado, we're going to get right into this list, starting with the first bar. And this is actually one that I kind of debated about putting on the list. Not so much because, it does get a little bit of tourist foot traffic due to its proximity to Fremont Street and the Fremont Street experience. It's not on the Fremont Street experience, but it is a few blocks down the road, and some of the tourists do manage to hoof it on down there. And that's Atomic Liquors. Atomic Liquors is the oldest freestanding bar in Las Vegas. It is one of my all-time favorite places, and here's how I know that tourists do make it down there. Because when I was a tourist, I made it down there a few times. But it is an absolutely fantastic bar. Been around since, I want to say, the early 60s, if not earlier than that. And it has one of the best patios of any bar here in town. Great place to sit there and have a couple drinks and do some people watching.
This is one of the 2 bars that I've been to, and probably the reason I went there is I'm not a big drinker, but probably the reason I went there is because I do love historic and nostalgic Las Vegas, and this is it. Atomic Liquors is surrounded by really old school that aren't even open really anymore hotels. The hotels that people would have stayed at when Las Vegas was basically Fremont.
Right.
So it's in that area. It's got they've really done a wonderful job down in that area of kind of redoing the old neon, even for the hotels that aren't open anymore, and some of the old bars and restaurants that are down there. So it's just a really great area. And yeah, it does get some tourist traffic from Fremont Street. And just the opposite of you. You said, it gets tourist traffic because you went there as a tourist. I can say that it's definitely a locals place too, because I went there and I don't really do touristy things in Vegas.
Right.
So yeah, it's a great spot. It is a really cool vibe, and that patio is pretty incredible.
It is a fantastic patio. And to be clear, now that I am a local, I still go to Atomic Liquors once in a while.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic spot. All right, moving on to the number 2 bar on our list. This next bar is actually one of my favorite bars here in town. I would argue the one thing that goes against it as far as calling it a tourist bar is that the drinks can be a little bit on the expensive side, but they have such a fantastic drink selection, and that is the Golden Tiki, which is right down in the heart of Chinatown. The Golden Tiki is one of my favorite bars here in town. First of all, the decor is unmatched. They are filled with hand-carved tikis that are actually carved by a good buddy of mine. Shout out to Billy Crud. Look him up on Instagram. He is one of the best tiki carvers in the entire country. Actually travels around the country designing tikis for tiki bars all over the place.
Interesting. Okay.
So a lot of times, you know, I'll hit him up and be like, hey man, what are you up to? Let's get together. And he's like, oh man, I'm in, you know, such and such state helping out with a bar. So he does tiki bar design for tiki bars all over the country. He is absolutely the best. And the Golden Tiki features some of his best work.
Okay.
Not only that, great live music there all the time. It's mostly going to be rockabilly, surf music, the kind of stuff you would expect to hear in a tiki bar.
Yeah.
They are open 24 hours, but if you're going to go during any of the prime hours, like if you're trying to go there on like a Friday night, they do have a reservation system. You can reserve a table. If you're going there for day drinking on a Tuesday, you could probably waltz right in the place.
I don't think I've ever made a reservation at a bar.
Well, this is one bar that does take reservations, even though I would still classify it as a dive bar.
Okay.
Based on the decor alone.
Gotcha.
So, moving on.
Well, the Huntridge Tavern, you want to talk about that?
I absolutely want to talk about the Huntridge Tavern.
So, it's in the historic Huntridge neighborhood, and you know this neighborhood. It's a growing opportunity neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood that is in the midst of revitalization.
Yes.
A lot of the old mid-century modern homes there are being bought up and they're being brought back to their original glory.
Yes.
And I'm really happy to see it because the neighborhood had declined a bit.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to invest into that neighborhood and they're trying to bring it back up to what it used to be, which it used to be a real premier neighborhood for the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, and this this bar is really known for and something that's pretty popular here in town.
Which is
karaoke.
Absolutely. A lot of the bars
love karaoke in this town.
A lot of the bars on this list have karaoke.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I know that Huntridge is I think it's known for the karaoke.
They are, yeah.
And it's an old bar. I mean, didn't you say it was one of the oldest operating bars in town?
So I have heard that it's the oldest continuously operating bar in the city. Now, I did a little bit of research. I couldn't verify that, so I'm going to say allegedly.
Okay.
And I'm sure that if somebody knows, they're going to put a comment down below, which we encourage, of course. Let us know if you have any information on that. That is the rumor. I do know that when Anthony Bourdain was in town, it was his favorite place to drink.
Okay.
So, and for one big reason, it is one of the cheapest bars in town.
Really?
The drinks there are just stupid cheap.
Okay.
They have something called the Jameson Century Club, which is if you're a regular, they keep track of how many Jameson shots you do, and after you've done 100 Jameson shots, your name goes on the Jameson Century Club list.
I know somebody that could probably join that list in a weekend.
That's scary for somebody's liver.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, and I'm sure the editor's going to put this on there, I'll make sure that they do. One of the coolest signs of any of the bars on this list. Really, really cool, old, Gougie architecture type sign. Very, very cool.
Great.
All right, moving on to the next bar on our list. This is going to be actually kind of up closer to where I live, up here on the northwest side of town. It's a few blocks to the west of the North Las Vegas Airport, in that triangle right there between the 95 and Rancho. And this bar is Saddles and Spurs. Saddles and Spurs is a 24-hour country bar. They have a big dance floor. They do live music all the time. They also have a karaoke night. And keep this in mind if you go there, like a lot of great dive bars, it's cash only.
I love it. Cash only bars.
Keeps you out of trouble.
It does. It does. You can set your budget and not have to worry about it.
Right? All right, what's next, Justin?
Well, again, it seems like we're always talking, at least I'm always talking about, nostalgia and history of Las Vegas, and Dino's definitely hits that on the head. So Dino's is a very historic bar here in Las Vegas. It opened in the early 60s, 1962. It's over near the Arts District, and again, this is another karaoke place, pool tables. And I can't remember for the life of me if it has a kitchen, but I know there's a great Mexican restaurant right next to it. So I remember going to this Mexican restaurant and really enjoying a meal, and then going over to Dino's. And that was, years and years ago. I was probably in my late 30s.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. So Dino's, it's just a great environment. It's a really nice date night, for locals, getting out and enjoying the Arts District, maybe swinging by Dino's, getting some dive bar drinks, and just enjoying the vibe and the atmosphere. Again, if you like nostalgia, if you like history, Dino's might be a great place for you to check out.
One of the great things about the bars down there in the Arts District area, and Dino's isn't actually in the Arts District, but I'd say it's about a block off of what would be considered the Arts District, it's walkable, right? And that's where I'm going with that is that because there's so much great stuff right there, you know, maybe the bar that you want to drink at doesn't have food, but there's some place that does have food within a block.
Yeah.
And you can walk down there and get a slice. You can find some place that does tacos. I know there's food trucks down in that area all the time. So even if you go to a proper bar that doesn't serve food, you can find food relatively nearby. And Dino's is a great spot. You know, I heard a rumor that there's a mural on the wall in that bar that back in the 60s, it was painted by, I don't remember the person's name, it was painted by a famous artist who put it there in lieu of paying their bar tab. That was how they paid their bar tab, was they added some art to the bar.
I don't remember the mural, but again, it's been, you know, probably 10 plus years, so I don't remember.
Yeah, but very cool bar, very historic.
Cool.
Next bar on the list is going to be Four Kegs.
Shout out Guy Fieri.
Shout out Guy Fieri. He used to work there in college.
He worked there in college, yep.
Right on. So the Four Kegs is a sports bar. Straight up sports bar. You know, TVs everywhere. They do have a kitchen that does mostly Italian style food. So what they're known for is they're known for stromboli and they're known for pizza.
And the stromboli is amazing.
I will have to try it. I've been to the Four Kegs, but I didn't eat there. I just went there. Actually, I went there to meet a client.
See, I've been to the Four Kegs, but I never drank there. I just ate there.
Fair enough. So one of the things the Four Kegs has that I don't think any other bar on this list has, they actually have a separate dining room that's family friendly.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. All right, moving on. What do we got next?
The Dive Bar down
the Dive Bar.
The University District. Again, this can be a challenging neighborhood at times. They are doing a lot of work in that area to kind of bring it, to modernize it, to, you know, to make it fit more with all the great work they've done at UNLV and updating that university. But the Dive Bar is, you know, one of these live music places with cheap beer because, again, you're going to be close to the university, so you're going to get a lot of students in there on a Friday, Saturday night, you know, or college day, so even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, really doesn't matter. So the Dive Bar, again, University District, cheap beer, live music, and I haven't been inside, but, you know, you said you've been there.
I have been there. As a matter of fact, my buddy's wife used to be a bartender there.
Okay, so what's it like inside?
It is very dive bar eclectic decor, right? So you're gonna have a lot of stickers up on the walls. There's a bunch of, above the bar, so it has a center bar, right, that you can walk all the way around. And above the bar, there's a bunch of like giant stuffed animals up on a shelf. And it's funny because there's a bunch of cameras up there that cover the whole bar, except for there's this one camera that's actually like fully blocked by this stuffed animal that's in front of it. And I was asking, and they're like, yeah, that corner where that camera should be pointing, like some shady stuff can happen over in that corner sometimes, so you got to watch out for that.
Okay.
But here's the thing, man. Is it really a dive bar if the neighborhood's not just a little bit sketchy? I
agree. Sometimes you gotta get through the weeds to find the flowers.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, the dive bar is fantastic. They have, and I like the fact that they carry hams and they carry Olympia, like old school dive bar beers, right? I love that stuff.
Well, and they got PBR.
They do. I mean,
and let me tell you, those who say that PBR is, you know, the cheap beer, I've been to the PBR brewery and distillery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wow, I stumbled out of that place.
I bet.
And that was about 6 years ago. It was amazing. So, you know, I'm a fan. PBR, I'm a fan.
So I used to go to this dive bar in Colorado that they called it the PB&J special. It was for $6.
Uh-huh.
It was a PBR tall boy and a shot of Jameson.
Wow, okay.
That is some pretty good value for money.
For $6, absolutely.
$6, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they had to be careful going into that place.
Yeah.
All right, so our next bar on the list is the Dispensary Lounge. This place has been named the best dive bar in Vegas by numerous different publications. I know that they were even recognized in an article in Playboy as being one of the best dive bars in the country. And I'll tell you what makes this place a lot different than any place else on this list. It's a jazz bar.
See, when you said dispensary, my mind already went to something else, but this is actually alcohol.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have live jazz music. They have living room style seating, which is very cool. So basically couches.
Okay, all right.
Right?
It's like getting drunk at home.
And it is just like getting drunk at home, except for one of the things you can get there that you can't get at home is an $8 half-pound burger.
Wow. Okay. $8.
$8.
That's a deal.
It is
That
a killer deal. In this economy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So the next place on our list,
Frankie's Tiki Room.
Frankie's is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've already talked about one, you know, tiki room, or tiki bar, I should say, but Frankie's is just a little bit north of that. It's up off of Charleston. So kind of like, you know, the center of town, you know, not too far from, it's a little bit west of the Arts District, a little bit east of the west side. And you're going to find most of these, you know, we've kind of talked about it. You're going to find most of these bars in older parts of the town because they're dive bars. And in these newer parts of the town, we're really trying to avoid the chains, you know, and the multiple location bars. We really wanted to find those one-off and unique places. And I think that Frankie's definitely hits that target.
Oh, absolutely. We are going to do a follow-up video to this where we talk about more upscale bars.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll see the neighborhoods change dramatically.
Yes, they do.
So, Frankie's is a great bar. I love the fact that they have old school surf music on the jukebox in there. And the drinks at Frankie's, you got to be careful. They are tiki drinks. So they're very sweet and they're very strong.
Okay, so they're heavy pour over there.
You can go off the rails pretty quick if you're not careful with your drinks at Frankie's.
I understand that.
But it's a very cool bar, very historic. And even though it is more in the downtown area, it tends to be pretty locals focused.
Okay.
So, the next bar on our list is in one of my all-time favorite sections of the city, the Arts District.
Okay.
And that's ReBAR. So, ReBAR is a great live music venue. They bring in local bands. So you're going to have local bands playing there probably like 5 nights a week. I mean, honestly,
I love live music, so that's great.
They have live music there all the time. It's another place that has really great outdoor seating, and because it's the Arts District, the people watching is fantastic.
Okay.
And they have one of the things that I find near and dear to my heart, local beers on tap.
I love them. If I'm going to drink a beer, it's going to be a tap beer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, what do we got next?
So the Hard Hat Lounge in the Gateway District, that's just going to be east of the 15 freeway. It's very much an industrial district.
Yes.
And I think it got its name because you do have a lot of these construction companies that have their offices there, their yards there. So they're probably getting a ton of traffic from guys just getting off work and heading over to the bar. So, you know, and that place, again, has been around the 60s. You know, what Mike and I have talked about before is that Vegas has definitely become a sports town.
Yeah.
Now, it's always been something about sports in Vegas because of the sports betting and the sports books. But this place, you know, does take it to a little bit of a next level as far as, you know, they run game day specials. So, you know, a lot of bars will do that, but I think the Hard Hat really hangs its hard hat on game days.
Yeah, and one of the other things that they're really well known for is industry nights.
Which is, yeah, absolutely.
So that's going to be the type of place where you're going to find, and if you don't know what industry night is, that's going to be a night where they cater specifically to other bartenders or to the casino dealers, right? To the blue collar folk that make our city run, are revered and taken well care of at a place like the Hard Hat Lounge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a great spot for our community. It is in that industrial part of town. But as a sports bar and a locals bar, very hard to beat. So the next bar on our list is actually one of my favorite places to drink, especially when I have buddies that come into town from the military, which I get, you know, living here in Vegas, it's a tourist town. So a lot of my old military buddies come in town for vacation. They always want to meet up. They want to get together and grab a drink. This is typically the place that I take them when they want to get away from the tourist scene. This is a bar in Chinatown called Leathernecks. Leathernecks it's open to everybody, but it is a military bar. The guy who owns it is a retired Marine, and when you walk inside, you have no question what kind of bar you're in. It is very much decorated with military memorabilia. There's a lot of camouflage. There's camo netting hanging on the ceiling.
Okay.
Right? It is a great military bar. So not only is it a military bar, but there's actually a VFW post that holds their meetings there on Sunday mornings once a month. Like I said, just a great bar. Almost all the people that I meet when I go in there are fellow veterans, and it's friendly to guys in the motorcycle club community, which I'm a member of. So I see guys from other veteran type clubs, the Leathernecks MC, or there's a handful of motorcycle organizations around town that are for military members or former military members, such as myself. So it's a place where we get together and have a few drinks, tell some old stories, and just have a good time.
And you really don't have to go to Leathernecks to know that it is a military or former military establishment.
It is apparent.
It is decked out outside as well.
It is apparent from the time you pull into the parking lot what type of establishment you're walking into.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Leathernecks is just a great spot.
So if you're if you're not a local, or if you're coming here from someplace else, which is, let's face it, Vegas is very much a transient town. We have a lot of people from a lot of different places. And this is very true. Even before I realized what this bar was, there's a lot of Buffalo Bills fans in town.
And unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. Kidding, guys, kidding.
And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, then Moon Doggies is a place that you want to go. It is a Buffalo Bills bar. It's in the central part of town. It's kind of a surfer bar, which is kind of an unusual mix of...
It is a weird mix, yes.
I don't think there's a lot of surfing in Buffalo. I mean, I've never been.
Well, there's no beach.
If you're a surfer from Buffalo, please comment down below. But yeah, so it's a surfer bar, so it's going to have that surfer theming. But then again, you're also going to see Buffalo Bills paraphernalia everywhere. So if you're a Patriots fan, you might want to avoid it. If you're a Miami fan, you might want to avoid Moon Doggies. But hey, if you're a surfer from Miami, you might want to go.
Well, I tell you what, I don't care about the Buffalo Bills, but I do care about buffalo wings.
Yes, and their food is highly rated.
Their food
I haven't been there,
very good.
But from everything I've read online, everything I've heard, the food is highly rated, and I bet that they have amazing buffalo wings.
They do.
Better have amazing buffalo wings.
They have great wings and they have great pizza.
Okay, great.
So
you want to end this on something a little fun?
I can end this on something fun. So the last bar on this list of dive bars here in Vegas is another personal favorite of mine, bar I've been to many, many times. Mr. D's. Mr. D's is off of Rainbow, just about 2 blocks north of Sahara, so there in the kind of
like
central,
almost west side, yeah.
Right, and Mr. D's is, I mean, you could call it a sports bar if you wanted to, you could call it a karaoke bar if you wanted to, but the reality is Mr. D's is a biker bar, right? It is on any given Friday or Saturday night, if you drive past Mr. D's, there's going to be anywhere from 10 to 100 bikes in the parking lot, depending on what's going on that given night. So you're going to see a lot of motorcycles there. You're going to see a lot of bikers in there. The waitresses and bartenders are in oftentimes bikini tops and Daisy Dukes, if not full bikinis.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Especially if it's date night or something like that.
Don't want to get smacked for the wandering eye.
Exactly. Mike didn't tell me when he took me. And it caught me off guard because it was almost less than a bikini.
On that particular occasion, it was quite the revealing.
Caught me a little off guard, but I will tell you this: what caught me off guard the most was how amazing that burger was.
How good the food was.
Yeah, the burger was so good.
One of the best burgers I've ever had at a biker bar. Yeah. Usually, the food at biker bars is pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
They got some pretty good. They got pretty good wings there too.
Yeah, and then you like the, what is it? The Philly cheese sandwich. What is it you like there so much?
They do have a good Philly cheesesteak there. My go-to is the wings, and they have a pretty good mushroom Swiss burger.
Okay.
So they have karaoke there pretty frequently. Again, they have pool tables there. It's a great bar. Very laid-back atmosphere, like most of the bars in Vegas. It's open 24/7. So. Yeah, Mr. D's. Great local dive bar. True local dive bar too. I don't think I've ever seen a tourist in Mr. D's.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a little far from the strip, and the area that's in. It's really a community. It's a neighborhood.
Yeah,
for sure. So the traffic patterns there are not conducive for tourism. So guys, Vegas has great upscale bars, great tourist bars, great entertainment bars. But if you're going to live in Vegas, and if you enjoy a drink, you enjoy going out to a bar, we wanted to just take a few moments to talk about some of these great dive bars here in town. So just like any other major metropolitan area, you're going to have those. So don't think that you might miss your home bar, which you may, but there's always going to be a great opportunity for you here to find a new home bar.
And if you do come here on vacation, it's like, listen, I get it. You're here to gamble, you're here to do the strip thing, or you're here to do the Fremont Street thing. The drinks down there are so expensive. They're so overboard expensive, and it's like, Man, if you want to get out and see a different part of Vegas, you know, find one of these bars that's relatively close. Catch an Uber down there.
Yeah.
Check out a locals bar.
Yeah,
First of all,
please don't drink and drive.
Yeah, don't drink and drive. But I promise, like, if you're on the Strip and you take an Uber to the dive bar, the money you spend on the Uber, you'll make it back on the money you save on the drinks.
Absolutely. You'll still end up ahead.
You'll still end up ahead, yeah. Even if you spend 20, 30 bucks, because, I mean, shoot, on the Strip, you're paying 15 bucks a drink.
And don't think just because you're gambling that your drinks are free. You know, you're going to be tipping your cocktail waitresses, and who knows how much money you're dumping into the slot machines or the table games. People get caught up in that. Hey, I'm getting my drinks for free. Well, you just spent, you know, you just lost $150 in the last 45 minutes and you had 2 drinks.
So, and also keep in mind, a lot of these dive bars that we mentioned, we didn't really say much about it because it's Vegas and it's kind of expected. Most of these bars that we mentioned have tabletop, like bar top gaming.
Absolutely.
And if you put a 20 in the machine and you sit there and you play video poker, or you sit there and you play Keno or what have you, they'll comp you drinks.
Yep.
Just like at the casino, just like only here, you know, it's going to be, they're going to be much more liberal with the drinks that they comp. You're only expected to tip the waitress a buck or two, right? So your money can go a lot farther, and you get that, like I said, you get that locals experience. So
Mike, why don't you take us out of this video?
Absolutely. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Remember, if you are thinking about moving here to Las Vegas, the first place you're going to start is by finding out what you qualify for to buy. Reach out to Steve Schauer and Linda Vo. They're our very good friends and lending partners. They're the best at what they do here in town. They can help you figure out what you're qualified for, what sort of rate you can get, and if you're not qualified to buy that dream home just yet, they can help you get the roadmap to get there.
Absolutely.
Tell you what you need to do to fix your credit, what you need to do to save up that down payment. They can help you set yourself up for success. Once they do that and you are ready to buy that dream home, or if you're already ready to buy that dream home, call me and Justin here at the Moody Olson team. We promise nobody's going to work harder for you to help you find the dream home that you deserve here in the Las Vegas Valley. If you live here already and you need to sell your home, we love to help you with that as well. We have a full marketing plan already in place to help sell your home fast and for top dollar, using professional grade media marketing, using all of the social media tools at our disposal. We're going to make sure that you get as much money as you possibly can while trying to get your home sold in the shortest time possible.
Absolutely. And Linda and Steve's number is in the description below.
Yes, Linda and Steve's contact information is down below, as is ours. You can also check us out at moodyolsenteam.com, or you can just put a comment in this video. We'll reach out to you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out videos. We do 2 every week, long-form content featuring the best of Las Vegas and the best Las Vegas real estate news. And until next time, guys, I'm Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we're out of here.